all right, this is our February Fox Talk Live on Facebook. And tonight we are joined by with Helen Holder. Helen, you want to wave? There she is. All right, Helen has got 6 books out right now, and her 7th book comes out really darn soon. And so hopefully, well, she probably has the proof and she'll show us soon. And so we'll talk about that. And then on the other side of me, I have Carmen Tribbett, and Carmen just put out her 5th book in January. And we have been talking about her 6th book, which will be out sometime in 2022. I don't know when it is. But the person who would probably know would be the next one on my screen is Chelsea Farr, and she is the brain of everything that happens around here at Fox Pointe. So she would know what's going on, because I don't, but there you go. And then next to her, we have Amy Kerns, and her first book came out on Hedgehog's Day. And note how I said Hedgehog's Day. It's not Groundhog's Day. People think it's Groundhog's Day, but we have officially kicked Punxsutawney Phil out of his job because, well, quite frankly, has he ever done a good job? No. So it's now Hedgehog's Day, and Harlow the Hedgehog learns he's left. And so Amy will tell us more about that. And she actually has her first book signing on March 19th, I think. Yeah, March 19th.
Yeah.
And that's over at the guest house in Basking Ridge. So she's going to tell us all about that. So, okay, the rules of the game, if you've ever been watching this or been watching this whole thing, is you need to ask us a question. And actually, there's one more person on this call. His name is Brad, and he is kind of the Wizard of Oz that sits behind the whole thing and makes this work. And so he's going to be watching the chat box. And what you need to do for us to know that you exist and are watching is put in a question for any one of us, and we will answer it to the best of our abilities, or maybe we'll make something up, whatever. We're a creative bunch. And if you ask us a question and keep our conversation going and helping us out, we will put you in the running to win a book. And we have some books here. Helen, what book should I give away of yours, do you think?
I don't know. I just maybe a flamingo.
Okay. All right. We will give away a flamingo book if you ask a question. And then Carmen, what book do you want me to give away of yours?
Life's Lessons Learned.
The what?
Life's Lessons Learned.
Life's Lessons Learned. That's your 4th book, right? I think so.
You think
Yep.
of the 5th?
Okay. Yep.
Oh.
We'll give.
I don't care.
Yep.
Shall I be when I grow up?
Well, do you have it next to you? Can you?
Yeah.
Yep. Show everyone there. There you go. And yep, that's the most recent one, the 5th one. What shall I be when I grow up?
Right.
And so yeah, we will give one of those away. And then Amy, you want to hold up your book there? Yep, Harlow Learns He's Loved, who, by the way, replaces Punxsutawney Phil. So now I will tell you, Harlow, that book has flown. It's a cute book. It really is. I have another order in. I have already sold out of all the ones. I do have some soft covers. I can give away a soft cover. Matter of fact, that's what I'll do. I have a soft cover, so I can put that in the mail right to whoever wins that tonight. But holy monkeys, or I should say holy hedgehogs, that book moves.
Hedgehogs.
So yeah, holy hedgehogs. I think that should be my next saying. I've been saying holy monkeys for so long. We're going to holy hedgehogs. Anyway, all right. So all right, first up, Helen, do you have the proof of what goes up must come down?
Well, I do.
Well,
but I got it backwards because I've been looking for. Now, where do you switch the camera around? I don't know.
Oh no,
where it is.
it comes across just fine here.
Oh,
For
well,
us,
that's
we
good. To
can-
me, it's backwards. So this is a little riff on the law of gravity.
Mm-hmm.
So everything that goes up comes down. We all know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Except lots of things in this book don't come down for a long time. Of course, they eventually do, but in kind of strange ways.
And what age range is it for?
You can read it to, I'd say the 4 to 8-year-olds things. And this is another one Kayla did. So she always does a really great job.
So
That one's really
Tell-
cute. I
tell
love
me
it.
about your experience for writing to 4 to 8-year-olds. What makes you get into their mind? What's your background?
Well, I taught first grade for 33 years, so had a lot to do with the 6-year-old, 7-year-old crowd. So that's kind of, and I loved reading aloud to them. So that's kind of my thing, that read a book with somebody you love.
Exactly. I will say Helen's books, hashtag the Helen Holder collection. Yes, she does have a hashtag. I have bookstores all over the country telling me or asking me, tell me about the Helen Holder collection. I'm like, wow, here's what I got for you. So yeah, that book comes out here actually just in a few days before the end of February, which is really a few days. I mean, can you believe next week is March? That blows me away.
I know.
It'd be really nice if whatever's going on out there stops. Anyway, we got snow and ice and ickiness. So, all right. Oh, hey, we have a question from Sandy. Okay, so Sandy Garlow asks, and then Carmen, I'll get to you next, but do you go to schools for promotions or do Skype visits with classrooms? Helen, would you go to schools or do Skype visits?
Well, I'd love to go to a school. I haven't really worked on it pretty much because I think a lot of the schools are still kind of avoiding having strangers come in, even with a mask and vaccinations and whatever. So,
well, I bet we could probably set up those Zoom call things, like what we're doing now.
Yeah.
Call things.
Yeah, the Zoom call things. I'm very techie, can you tell? And I know Carmen has done, she did January 2020, right before the world closed down. Carmen stopped at the local kindergarten school and did a reading.
I've been to
And
it.
yeah. And Carmen, do you want to tell us more about your series? It's the Monster Dog series told in First Dog.
Yes, it's the Monster Dog series, and the final book, What Shall I Be When I Grow Up, is just now out, and has a lovely ending. I love the ending. She says, I wish you joy wherever your paws take you. And she possibly will do a book of prayers, but we haven't gone very far on that.
Do you want to touch on the book that is coming out sometime in 2022?
For adults?
Mhm.
Yes, my husband had Alzheimer's for 18 years, although he was very well for the first 10 or so. And so I have been a nurse and a teacher. And so I wrote Our Life with Alzheimer's. And this is not the cover, but it's the cover picture. And it shows my husband walking away from the grandchild in the picture. And I think that'll be a nice cover. And I'm not exactly sure when that'll be out, 22 or 23, but my part's done.
Okay. Well, actually, Chelsea, what can you tell us, or can you guesstimate when that might come out?
So, Carmen, her son is working on editing the manuscript right now. And once he's done with it, it'll come to me for editing. So we're looking at, I think he said the end of March for having it over to me. So it should be this year if I get it by the end of March. So yeah, I'm looking forward to working on that one.
Well, very cool. All right, and then Amy, if you want to tell us about your book and how that all came to being and what the future is for it and such.
Yes, absolutely. So again, it's called Harlow Learns He's Loved. And it's really about, it's based on my family, but it's about an adorable hedgehog who lives with a family of foxes and is just confused when there's a new baby that enters the mix. And he thinks he's losing his parents' affection and all the kisses that he gets from them. And I mean, it's a really sweet story. Like I said, it's really based on things that happened in my own family. And, you know, it's really about the love that parents have for their children and their families, no matter what it looks like, whether it's a blended family or traditional family or, you know, anything in between. So it's really sweet.
And will we see more Harlows and Finns?
Yes. You'll see more books and you'll see more characters join the mix, just knowing that there's another little one on the way. But yes, and speaking of school engagements, I'm actually doing a virtual interview at an elementary school in my hometown during the week. And I don't know if this is a global thing or just in New York. It's called PARP, Parents as Reading Partners.
Okay.
I don't know if that's a global thing. So it's the third week of March. So I'm doing a virtual interview during PARP week. So, and they're featuring Harlow, which is very exciting. So definitely open to school interviews.
Yeah, I was going to say too, Sandy, I can help arrange any Zoom calls or whatever the case may be. And actually, Sandy is on one of the same committees I am on for Deep Valley Book Festival, which has a virtual cabin fever event coming up a week from this Saturday, which Helen is part of. And out of this very house, that festival happens because Brad, who is also on this call, is the one who makes that entire festival electronically actually happen. And that is a worldwide event, which is, I actually find is pretty funny that it comes out of my house, but that's a whole nother story. It's like, okay. Anyway, but yeah, Sandy, if you wanna, Sandy, I know, has a daughter that is a school teacher, and I can't remember what grade she's for, but Sandy, if you're ever interested, give me a holler and we can set something up. That is no problem whatsoever. So there you go. Amy, do you want to give the world, or at least the people on Facebook here, and eventually when it's on YouTube, the pitch for your upcoming first ever book signing?
Yeah, so it is at a local boutique in town in Basking Ridge, New Jersey, where I live. And they were just so excited to not only to feature the book at their boutique, but they're actually expanding into a baby store as well. So it's for a few hours and a few weeks on March 19th. And I'll be coming with some other goodies, including coloring pages and stickers. And so it'll be a really, really fun time. I'm really looking forward to it.
I thank them very much for being open to giving you the opportunity. That was so sweet of them to do. And oh, and I'm doing memory. That's Desiree, right?
Yes, and their store is adorable. As soon as I walked in, I'm like, I want everything in the store. So it's a great match for everybody in town and for all the family. So it'll be, and the intention is they have a beautiful front porch. So the intention is to have a table outside in the front porch, and downtown Basking Ridge, where I live, is just so cute. So I'm excited to get all the foot traffic and just see how it does. Yeah.
I think you'll do really well. And oh gosh, this is me trying to remember the local newspaper, The Patch. I want to do a shout out for her, and it's Alexis, right? Oh,
Yes,
good. You know, I
Alexis.
should go buy a lottery ticket because my memory is like,
Yeah.
make sure I get everyone. Yeah,
Great.
Alexis with The Patch has been very wonderful working with us. And yeah, she's given Amy 2 articles in the last 3 weeks. I anticipate you'll do pretty well, and I will be starting to push out some advertising for everyone in Basking Ridge and surrounding area to come see you. Make a big thing out of it.
What was funny is she had done the second one for the signing, and my husband literally comes to me and he goes, "This is your face. You're literally in my news feed right now." And it's true. The article came up and he's like, "This is like amazing." So he literally saw it in real time on his news feed as it came up. So that was really fun.
Well, did he do a screenshot?
Oh yeah. It's on my social media. I posted it out. So.
Oh, good. Well, that's very cool. All right, so let's see if we have any questions here. Nope. Okay. Anyway, all right. So if anyone is watching, if you would like to be in the running to earn a book, we are giving away well, heck, we could probably even give 4 books away. We've got Helen's Flamingo. I painted a magenta flamingo. And we have What Shall I Be When I Grow Up from Carmen. And then we have Harlow the Hedgehog from Amy. And, oh, let's see, I should probably give one of mine. We could do Scout. That was my most recent children's book. Chelsea, do you have a copy? Oh, and it's based on my
Even
grandpuppy,
better.
Spunky. That is my grandpuppy Spunky. And he got his 4th gotcha day yesterday?
Yeah. Yep,
Okay.
4 years.
Yeah. Yeah, that's Spunky. Well, in the book, his name is Scout. But anyway, and I will say, I came up with Scout from one of the children back in November of 19 when I went to the local kindergarten school and read Jelly Beans. So they were, kids love talking about jelly beans, or whatever reason you happen to be there for all about 4.5 seconds. And then they tell you about what the name of the dogs are and how many brothers and sisters they have. And then they ask me what my favorite dinosaur is. And so my my visit to the Woodson Kindergarten Center, well, we didn't spend a lot of time on jelly beans. We talked about a lot of dinosaurs and dogs, but one of the dogs that the kids had was named Scout. And at the time I was putting together Scout, and I wanted to come up with a good name. So Scout, thanks to the child who's probably now in wrapping up 2nd grade. There's a kid in Austin whose dog's name is Scout. I don't know who that person is, but thank you. Anyway, all right. Chelsea, what can you tell us from the world of your desk?
The world of my desk. Well, you have a couple things going on. We've got, she couldn't join us tonight, but Alicia Sanchez, her craft book is going to be coming out soon. And there's a whole bunch of fun arts and crafts projects in here that you can do to donate to various, nonprofits, or to help build up your community. It's going to be a really cool book. And I've also, sorry, I just hit my dog in the head.
I was going to also say there's, she's got QR codes on each of those pages where you can get into that, and it'll show you the patterns and ask questions. And I think there's videos, and it gives you ideas of where you can donate your gifts or your crafts all around the world. It's pretty cool. It's a cool idea. And yeah, I'm sorry, I totally forgot to say Alicia's not on here, and I just texted her. I am clearly out to lunch today. I'm sorry, Alicia. Anyway, all right, Chelsea, what else you got coming up?
I have also got the 4th Bobby Bear book that's coming out soon. This one's about bullies. Bobby Bear is being bullied at school, and he also comes to realize that he's been bullying another student, and he didn't even realize it. And so the whole class kind of begins to understand why bullying is bad, and it's a really good read for kids of that age.
And is Bobby Bear in 2nd grade in that one?
Yeah, so in the first book he was had just turned 5, and now he's in 2nd grade, so a couple of years older. Next month we also have This Is the Bear coming out. This is from Paula Morehart, and her illustrator did hand-drawn illustrations here. This cute little bear, he's helping out his friend the mouse, so that's pretty cute.
The illustrator is Peggy McDowell. She does an excellent job, and I will give a plug to her business. It's Jester Studios out of Wisconsin. You can find her on Facebook. She does a lovely job.
Pretty good.
I'm
stuff.
Also friends with Peggy, so there you go. And what else you got, babe?
That's all I have for proofs right now. But I've got like 4 coming next week. Next week is a really busy week for proofs. So,
and I should probably tell everyone out there who is like, did she just call Chelsea babe? It's only because Chelsea is my daughter. This is a mother-daughter publishing company. And when I can't think of what my kids' names are, I make up other names for them, or I call them dogs' names or monkeys. There you go. So anyway, all right. And then we have a question from Peggy. I illustrated Paul's book, This is the Bear. And she said they had to fuss a bit to get the colors right. Amy, did you also have that problem? I don't know what that question is.
So I can just give a quick background here. So sometimes when you have artwork that gets printed, like in the book production process, the colors can look a bit darker than they do on the screen. So Amy can fill you in on what her experience was, but the short answer is yes.
Yeah, it was a great learning experience. There's definitely things that happen towards the end that you just double check, and the coloring. Net, the book is phenomenal. I couldn't be happier, but I think it's just sort of the process as it is, and you just make sure to double check that it's exactly how you want it to be, and you get to a good final product. So speaking of illustrators, Kim Hanzo did a phenomenal job. She's so talented. Everyone loves the illustration, so couldn't be happier. But yeah, I think that's just how the process works, and you work through it. Like I said, it's a great final product. So.
Oh, Kim does an excellent job. There's no doubt about it. And actually, Carmen, do you want to give a shout out to Katie?
Oh my goodness, yes, she's fabulous. I have someone local that has drawn the dog, and it is the dog. It truly is Tassie.
Yep, that's Katie Hunter-Dose out of Austin. And she does an excellent job and has done all 5 books in Carmen's Monster Dog book series. And I will tell you, if you happen to have a Shih Tzu at home, or well, that's what the Monster Dog is. Tassie is a Shih Tzu, and everyone that I have ever talked with who has the same type of dog absolutely loves the books. I swear there's a whole subculture of people who are completely into Shih Tzus.
I don't think this is internet. Can you see this?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
It's actually just exactly what she looks like.
We have worked with over a dozen illustrators now at this point. We have about 3 or 4 that have done most of the books, but we have worked with a lot more than that. Either they'll work with just one author, or it'll be the author themselves. Helen illustrated one of her books, and all of them have just been phenomenal, really.
I've gotten comments from various people being, direct consumers, just the general public, or bookstore owners, or gift shop owners, or, Amy can probably attest to this. When Desiree first saw your book, was she just like blown away?
Yes, she was like, the illustrations are great. So it was actually her and her sister that owned the boutique, so they were both looking through the book. Loved the matte cover. She's like, oh my God, this cover is like buttery soft. So loved the matte, loved the illustrations. Yeah, they were thrilled. They loved it.
Yeah, of comments I've heard, just random comments, even when I just happen to be nearby and they don't know who I am or what my connection is to it. The Fox Pointe books get oodles of compliments. They really stand out. People will tell me that they'll see our stuff and they'll, be scrolling by or whatever, and then they stop and they go, that would look like, oh, it is a Fox Pointe book. Look at that. So the people that we work with do an incredible job. I will say too that the reason when Peggy asked a question about colors and I didn't know, I am more at the sales publicity end of the business. I don't get into the book publication stuff very much. And my first 3 books are actually, one's a nonfiction one, and 2 of them are fiction. And then anytime I do my children's books, I've got 3 children's books. I have a tendency to, and the reason why is Chelsea is so incredibly talented. I write the manuscript, and then she edits it for me and then puts it in front of whoever the illustrator is and then the designer. And she's like, what do you think? I'm like, I don't care, just do it. I'm busy. So I really don't know. It's pretty bad. Anywho, but yeah, I get busy. Anyway, all right, let's see, it is 6:30. So if you have any questions for us, we have 2 winners right now. We have Peggy and Sandy, and we have 4 books. So we need 2 more winners, which means we need 2 more questions from someone out there in the world. All right, let's think here. Helen, oh, you know what?
Peggy had a question.
You do?
Peggy
What?
did. She wanted to know if I gave a swatch of the pink for the flamingo to get it right. Well, I think I did send a link to colors on the internet, but also the book has a lot of color words in it. So we have a color word, kind of a glossary at the end, as well as color yourself picture of the flamingo. So the illustrator, Samantha Hinton, she just knocked it out of the
I know.
ballpark.
Isn't that
Really
just
beautiful
beautiful?
pictures.
And Samantha Hinton is actually a local resident here in Austin as well, and she's done 3 of our books. She does Thea Kwame's Mouse Draken series, and then did Helen's. And Chelsea, actually, if you're going to talk, you're on mute. I don't know if you noticed that. I thought
Oh,
you were.
no, I was just nodding in agreement.
Oh, okay. All right. Sounds good.
Hinton, I call her Hinton because I used to work with her, and there was another Sam there. So she's a phenomenal artist. She's designed, I think she's designed like tattoos and stuff, and she's done portraits for people. Yeah, she's kind of artsy, craftsy in like every way possible. So she's pretty cool.
And I will say with that flamingo book, when a lot of libraries pick it up, you know, with all the different colorful words and you know, it's just a beautiful book. I always tell them, okay, before you rent this out, I would suggest taking out that last page and making photocopies of it, and then just putting the photocopy, because you know the first kid that rents that book out of a library is gonna be like, ooh, a flamingo I can color. There goes that book. Anyway, and things that are going on over in my side of the world. Let's see, just yesterday signed us up for the Iowa State Fair. Amy, that's why you got that email. I just blew it out to everyone, and I'm like, I'm sure Amy is not going to get on a plane to come to the Iowa State Fair, but Carlo the Hedgehog will be at the Iowa State Fair. But yeah, we've got a booth in the grandstand, and that runs August 11th through the 21st of this year, and we're looking forward to it. I know Helen's going to be out there. I forgot what specific date.
The 12th.
Okay, yeah, is that Sunday?
It's a Friday.
It's a Friday. Oh, of course, because August 11th starts on Thursday. Anywho, but yeah, it should be lots of fun. I should be really tired. I'll probably sleep the entire day of August 22nd. Because yeah. Let's see, what else are we doing? Oh, yeah. And last week, I think it was, Fox Pointe was invited to do 2 different holiday market shows through Gilmore Shows that runs along the East Coast. And so the first week of November, we're going to be in somewhere in North Carolina. I've got to get used to my East Coast cities and such. And then 2 weeks later, we're going to be down in Charleston, South Carolina. I know that much. And yeah, but if you get onto foxpointepublishing.com, that's FOXPOINTE publishing.com, and then click on events in the navigation bar, that'll open up all the calendars of all the different places we will be. And actually our calendar starts March 5th. So this is my last weekend to catch up on anything that I want to catch up on until, before January 2023 gets here. So I'm busy. Anyway, but yeah, so we will be down in North and South Carolina in November. And I am just for fun, seeing if there's anywhere in September and October. I am toying with the idea of doing a couple of other state fairs. It's been a long time. I used to do state fairs for other reasons, and you just kind of get it in your blood, and there you go. Anyway, all right, so someone needs to ask some questions here. And then let's see, what else do I have going on? Chelsea and I came up with a possible children's series, and there will be an official announcement on July 2nd. There's a reason for that too. And then, and yes,
Well, and part of that reason is that I have to teach myself how to draw, so.
Okay, there's that part too. Anyway, but yes, I'll be doing the writing, and then I'll just dump it unceremoniously in Chelsea's lap again, like I usually do, and then, flit off in another direction. So anyway, all right, let's see. Who wants to come up with a good question of something we should talk about until we get another question? Carmen, do you have a question for all of us to chat about?
I have to think a minute, I guess.
Well, last time Chelsea came up with favorite ice cream flavors, and then you came up with an idea.
I'd be interested in how everyone writes. That is when and how. I have a friend who gets up at 5 and writes for an hour. And as you know, I write on Post-its and Post-it. And just be interesting to know from all these ladies how they write.
Amy, how do you write?
So I usually write at night because it's the time my son goes to sleep. So I have some time, but I am planning. I think I shared this last Facebook Live, but I'm 8 months pregnant. So I'm planning to do more writing on maternity leave when I have a lot of time on my hands. So that's my thought.
Oh, sure. A new baby and you're going to have lots of time on your hands.
That's true.
Good luck with that.
And it's, yeah, for the second too. Yeah, that's true.
Well, yeah, I
Maybe
mean,
I'm kidding myself, but
yeah, I was
ambitious.
thinking, you look awake now, and of course, boy, when Chelsea was my first child, and I had 3 more after her, and although you're a seasoned, veteran at having kids by the second one, oh, I like naps. Naps are fun.
That's true. Well, that's why daycare is helpful because you can go to daycare and give, and he loves daycare.
Mm-hmm.
My first son, so it'll be good for both of us to get a break, and I'll have some, hopefully, time to write and have a cup of coffee, and it'll be glorious. So
yeah, no kidding. And then Helen, how about you? How do you do your writing?
Well, I do a lot of it in my head, and then I have to remember, you got to go to the computer and write it down before you forget it quick.
Mm-hmm.
And then I get too many things started. So then I never know. Oh, so let's see, should I do the Crinkle Crankle Wall or the Rainbow or the Nativity Lesson or whatever else?
Mm-hmm. Well,
so I have to set myself some deadlines. I already tried once giving you people a deadline that was too scary.
well, Helen actually writes about the same way I do. And actually what happens to me is I come up with like a great title, and then I'm like, oh, I should come up with a book on that. And then of course, all of my great writing happens in my head, either when I turn off the light at night, I'm like, oh, or I'm driving down the road and you can't stop, because you're on the highway, or I'm somewhere where I'm supposed to be doing something else. And then of course my mind wanders and I come up with a good title, and then I put the whole story together. And by the time it's over, I'm like, oh, I wonder what I was going to write about. So yeah, that's my whole thing. Chelsea, if you were to write, when would you write?
When I'm not working on other people's books. I don't know. I started coming up with an idea for a book, and I just did a lot of handwriting my ideas down, got a nice journal and just kind of put ideas in there. We'll see if that ever comes to fruition though. So I don't know.
I will say that Chelsea officially was a published author when she was 9 years old. She put out a published poem, and it's really pretty. And I've asked her to turn it into a book, and she's like, a children's book. I've asked you this, and you're like, no one would ever buy it. So,
Did
but
you?
I did. It's very pretty, and you should. But that's my opinion. Of course, I'm her mom, so there you go. All right, Heather Skinner has a question for us, and actually, I found out from Heather that Helen, you have a upcoming conversation with Heather. She does a blog, YouTube blog kind of thing, and actually, Heather, with you watching, we have a number of different children's authors. For example, Amy Kerns and Carmen Tribbett. So if you ever want to have them on your program, I can set you up with them. You can get a hold of them directly, whatever the case. But okay, Heather's question. Hi, everyone. This is great. It sounds like you all have such a great connection among each other and your team. Do any of you ever plan to collaborate on writing a book project together? And I have thought, well, okay, besides the one that Chelsea and I have came up with just a few days ago, and can I give them a hint? I won't say anything. I mean, it's so out there.
I don't know. Just the tiniest baby hint. Just a little baby hint.
Tiny hint. Can I tell them just the name of the town we were talking about? Or would that be too
Yeah,
much?
no, that would give it away. That would
Okay, never mind.
So we
I
were
can't tell it.
looking at this website called Atlas Obscura, which shows like these weird places all over the world that tourists can visit. Just really weird stuff like museums or like the world's largest frying pan or whatever, stuff like that. And there was this one town that we saw on the map that we'd both been through. And it inspired an idea for a children's book series. It's like my mom said, it's pretty out there, but it's super cute. It's gonna be good.
It is. And as a matter of fact, I will say in the book for Austin, Minnesota, who here can guess what obscure place would be to visit in Austin? Come on, Austin people. Okay, it's the Spam Museum. The Spam Museum is on this this website. And Amy, if you ever get to Austin, Minnesota, you and the fam will have to come to the Spam Museum, and they give you spamples, and you can eat all the way through the museum, and then you're full by the time they throw you out the door at the gift shop. So it's
anyway,
Wow.
The spam ambassadors are passing out the spamples.
Yep.
I'm so intrigued. I'll have to come out.
Mhm.
Two of my siblings, Brad and Ash, they are spam ambassadors.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have 2 spam
Oh.
ambassadors in my family.
So can I tell you a very weird part of my hometown? There is a Sphinx in Bayport, Long Island. It is so random. I don't know why it's there, but that is like a monument in our town. It's like Sphinx. So
I bet it's on there.
So when you
I bet
said
it's
like
on
this,
that map.
How big is
probably.
it?
Well, when you said that, I thought of that. Yeah.
How big is it?
It's not huge. It's not like an Egyptian like huge pyramid sphinx. But it's decently big. It's like a couple. Oh my goodness, I'm so bad with dimensions. But it's like I would have to climb it.
Oh wow.
What
But
did you say the name of the town was again?
It's Bayport, New York, Bayport, Long Island.
Okay.
If you type in Bayport Sphinx,
That's pretty funny.
There's so many places
it's so
in New
random.
York.
It's so random.
It'd be neat to know the history on that.
Bayport. I know. I should know because Bayport's small, but it's a staple of Bayport. The Sphinx.
And then
My
take a left by
gosh.
the Sphinx and then go down the street.
I don't think it's on there. I feel like we should make them add it.
Well, Amy needs to send Amy the link, and then Amy can have the credit for adding the Bayport Sphinx to Atlas Obscura. There you go.
Yeah.
But actually, one thing I had thought about, I know it's been tossed around, is to do like a annual anthology of sorts for any of the Fox Pointe authors who would be interested, and just put together a book of various stories, keep it to like under 5,000 words or whatever. I don't know. I mean, I've thought about it, and again, it's been kicked around a couple of times. Oh yeah. That's pretty funny.
Pretty cool.
So random, right?
That is random. You're right. Chelsea, I think Austin needs a Sphinx, and that would go over well, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway.
The nearest Atlas Obscura map marker to me, where I am currently, is the grave site of a convicted cannibal from, the Gold Rush era. So
Yeah, that was Chelsea's invitation to me. Mom, the next time you come to Colorado, I'll take you to the gravesite of a convicted cannibal. I'm like, does that really justify a drive across Nebraska? One has to ask themselves. No, actually, I will say Nebraska wasn't bad. And I will say too, because I got to drive the truck in December, a full-size, fully loaded U-Haul out of Minnesota down I-35 and onto I-80 through Iowa, all the way across Nebraska, and the roads were really decent. But I have been to Nebraska and Kansas before. Matter of fact, I did the Nebraska State Book Festival, and that was in Lincoln, and that was a good show. So yeah, I actually don't mind it, but I was just more worried about the books or the road conditions. Anyway, so yeah, Heather wants to know. So that's something we would kick around. I don't know if any authors would ever want to get together and do like a children's book thing to, I have no idea. And we have 25 authors right now, and
it'd be really cool if, we got together all of our authors, all of our illustrators, and like each illustrator took like 2 authors' stories or something.
Mhm.
That'd be cool.
Oh, Helen has talked about friendship bread, Amish friendship bread, or something
Yes,
like
there you
this.
go.
And that's where you mix it and put stuff in it, and then you pass it down the road to someone else or something.
Oh, yeah, because it's sort of a sourdoughy thingy, so you have to keep putting more flour and sugar in, and then you bake some bread, and you still have the starter, and you keep dividing it up, so you have to give it away or whatever.
Well, what would be
Oh,
fun?
I wrote an article about that, about how you become a slave to this this bread starter.
Well, what would be cute is to do something similar, but in stories. So say, AJ, we can just go alphabetically with the names, like I've got everyone posted on our professionals page. And so AJ could start a story and, do a chapter or whatever, and then pass it off it would go to Alicia, then it would go to Amy Gregg, and then it would go to Amy Kerns. By the time it got to me, I would be like, what am I working with here? That would be kind of funny, wouldn't it?
Would
I
be,
would think. I don't know. Well, and Carmen would get it early. Yeah, because it goes to Amy, then over to Andrew. Well, whoever wants to participate, and then I think Carmen's the next person. So yeah, you guys would all get it early. The last one, the poor last person would be Thea, and she'd read it like, what? And then Thea would have to add on the ending. Okay, Thea, you're in charge of the ending
ending the story.
of our Amish friendship story book. It could be fun. I'm gonna have to put that out there. You guys will probably get an email from me tonight. What do you think? One of my crazy Kiersten, what do you think ideas? And I'm gonna have a feeling that at least half of everyone will be like, what? You want us to do what? I'm like, it'll be fun. All right, so we are
Just a
at
collection of short stories that we might have read too.
well, yeah, I think like a anthology, an annual compendium of what is going on in the Fox Pointe mines, the great Fox Pointe mines. All right, so it's 6:46, which means you have approximately 14 minutes left to ask a question. And I've got Sandy gets a book, and Peggy gets a book, and Heather gets a book. And we need one more question from one other person, and then you'd probably get a book. And you have approximately 13 and a half minutes left to come up with a question. All right, and then let's see okay, we've got, what else is in Austin that would be on Atlas Obscura, although it probably isn't. I mean, we've got the Spam Museum. We have a convicted cannibal in Colorado, and we have the Sphinx in Bayport.
Well, I just dismantled the Nativity House, so there you go.
We should put Helen's nativity house. You've got what, 951 nativity sets?
Yeah, give or
Good.
take a few.
Okay.
Yeah, that
So
needs to be on Atlas Obscura.
Yes. All right.
Well, it's not the biggest collection. So one of the things I always say is my friend in Denton, Texas, her husband built her another whole house for her collection.
Well, but it beats the convicted cannibal that Chelsea lives near. So, you got that going.
Let me tell you all about this story about this dude that.
Oh, what was I gonna say? Well, never mind. It was gonna be good, and I can't remember now. Typical. All right, let's see. We don't have any other questions. Can you guys think of anything you want to say before we all tootle off and wait till March? Oh, we're a talkative group. We're writers. We write a lot. We don't.
Right. Don't talk.
We don't talk. Actually, Carmen, you've got a event coming up in June, the Congregational.
Yes, but that's on Alzheimer's.
On Alzheimer's?
Yeah, on a Sunday morning. It happens to be the Alzheimer's Day. I can't remember what they call it now, but anyway, I was asked to have a very short presentation on Alzheimer's, not on my Alzheimer's book for the dog, but just on the subject.
Okay. Well, and I will say too, if anyone is ever interested in having Carmen speak, and we can set up a Zoom and all, she's very knowledgeable on Alzheimer's, not only personally, but a whole health background. She's a retired nurse. She's also a retired teacher. She has had quite an interesting and varied life. She's a well-spoken orator. She's a nice person to talk with, very knowledgeable and stuff. Yes, Carmen, I think the world of you. So
Thank you.
yeah, no, she does a lovely job. And then again, truly, Helen probably could pull those first grade teaching skills up if you have some elementary kids that you would like to have Helen visit. And her 7th book comes out here in a matter of days. And then Amy, she's got some free time in April. Not really.
Something like that.
But yeah, if you want to set up a time for her to read to the kids, and maybe she could probably answer questions, especially for the age range. It's 2 to 5 years old for her book, and that is the perfect age range when other kids start showing up. Whether you become the newest, biggest sibling, a lot of kids, much like your dog when your son showed up. Yeah, your son's going to be, what's that?
Yep.
Mhm.
100%.
And is he like almost 2 years old now?
He's 19 months.
Okay.
So they'll be about 20, 21 apart.
Okay.
Yeah, so they'll be close in age. Both boys, 2
Yep.
boys. So got my
Chelsea.
hands full.
Yeah, you hit, yep.
Well,
Chelsea.
I thought, they talked about that the first child would be so jealous of the number 2 because mama's spending all their time with number 2.
Mhm.
So I was all prepared for that, but yeah, my son was jealous, all right. He was jealous because it was his baby.
Oh,
So why did that baby have to be spending time with me? He didn't care about whether
Funny.
I spent time with the baby, except it was his baby. So get away from my kid.
Oh,
How cute. I love that. That's so
Chelsea.
funny.
Anybody who came to the house, didn't matter what came for, they had to come in and see his baby.
Chelsea was about 3.5 years old when her first younger brother was born. And when I was pregnant with Jeff, and I explained, we have another baby coming, and here are all the different, ultrasound pictures and stuff. She's like, oh, and I said, well, yeah, it's a baby. She goes, no, we're gonna name it O. And I'm like, no, we're not naming the baby O. No. And she's like, oh, it's a baby. I'm like, no, the kid's name is Jeff. We're just going.
yeah, I really wanted to name that baby O.
Yeah. So in the baby books and all the early the recorded movies and home videos and stuff, Chelsea's like, and here's my baby brother. Oh no, it's Jeff. It's like, so she was pretty serious on that whole thing. All right. Well, so yeah, I think we are probably done. We will be back in March, the 4th Tuesday in March, whatever that happens to, probably March 22nd, because March mirrors February. And in the meantime, though, we have lots of books. We have really about 2 or 3 books that come out every month. And you should check that out, which means you should go to foxpointepublishing.com. And then again, that's FOXPOINTE publishing.com. And the home webpage has all the different book covers, and you can click on those and that'll open up all the information pages. If you want to know when specific books are coming out or what events we're going to, in the navigation bar, click on events, and that'll open up our entire schedule. Really, I've got dates booked through December right now. So there's always something hopping around here. And let's see, be sure to check out, if you go over to the professionals on navigation, you can click on any one of everyone's pictures and that'll bring you to the information page about them. If you happen to have a library nearby, by all means, let them know about us. We do offer wholesale to libraries and schools and retailers and bookstores and coffee shops and flower shops. And put it this way, if you know that a book should be at one of these locations, let them know about us, because we will help them out there. And then, of course, if you happen to be in the Basking Ridge or nearby area, I'm not very familiar with New Jersey, but in that area, do not be surprised if you see some ads going by with Amy's face and Harlow the Hedgehog. In real time, you'll have to take a screenshot on both Facebook and Instagram, and I will get that up here relatively soon. And Carmen's got something coming up. If you're in Austin, Minnesota in June, Congregational Church, she will be there talking about Alzheimer's. And then, of course, Helen will be on the Deep Valley Book Festival, and she's got some different things coming up. And then Heather Skinner, she'll be on her video blog interview. And I don't know when. I just found out this from Heather actually a day or two ago. I'm like, Helen didn't tell me. Oh, gosh. I'm going to have to get on Helen about this. Anyway, all right. Well, you guys all have a wonderful day in your neighborhood. Please, please, please check out our shop now on our webpage, foxpointepublishing.com. And that's about it. You guys didn't have anything to say? Oh, we're a talkative group. Anyway, all right. You guys have a fabulous night out there in the big internet world. Have a good night. See you guys later.
Thank
Bye.
you.